Hello, bruvs. We're back with more new book arrivals. Um, these are basically from 2 days. I was going to do 2 videos, but I said, fuck that. Do one long one here. Let's get to it. Exposing demons' work. I don't know what the hell that means. Demons' work. Wouldn't demons' work be apostrophe is? Exposing demons' work. Or is it the demons' work? Now, see, there has the apostrophe, so I wasn't wrong. This is a pretty short book. I don't believe in demons. I mean, people are basically demons, but I don't believe they're controlled by demons. I just think they're pieces of shit. But I still like the concept. I mean, it's always nice to blame other forces for people being fucking pieces of garbage. But I will read this in its entirety if someone already hasn't. If someone has, then I definitely won't. Back to Basics. Tactics by Dan Heisman. Back to Basic chess series. I don't really care about chess, but I just sold a chess book for like $20, which basically paid for all these books here. So you see how it works. And speaking of that, while I was looking through some of the books at the thrift store I usually get most of my books from, this guy came up to me, and they always, all these people who are like sellers, collectors, whatever they always tell you they have the most valuable things. I have pictures of fucking Jim Morrison, original photos of Jim Morrison. He contacted everybody, producers, book writers, everybody. And yeah, and they lowballed him, and they told him all these stories. I'm just like, why are you telling me this? One of the guys, he claimed, he goes, he has a beautiful transsexual wife. I'm just like, what the fuck are you telling me this for? He's just like, just such a beautiful transsexual. And I was like, this guy's out of his motherfucking mind. And he started asking me about books. Are there even bookstores? And then every time I mentioned book, oh yeah, I've been there. I'm just like, why you fucking? Maybe he's just lonely. Maybe he thought I was a transsexual. I mean, I am beautiful as fuck, but Jesus Christ. I don't understand. But hopefully this book's worth something. Hans Holzer, The Directory of Psychics, which I expected to be fully a directory of psychics, but it's only at the end. And I was hoping that Marion Kuklo would be in here, who was Gundella the Witch, but no such luck. There is Leo Martello. I've heard of him. Most of these people I've never heard of. Who was that big one that was friends with Gundella? Who's the lady? Sybil. The hell was her name? Sybil. She wrote the Kennedy book, and Sybil Leek. That's who it is. Let's see if she's in her. Sybil Leek's not in her, and this guy don't know shit. Maybe he didn't like Sybil Leek. There's Morgan, whoever she is. No, Sybil Leek. This guy don't know shit. How to find, evaluate, and communicate with professional psychics and mediums. Basically, who's who of friendship, and then you send them business. Not a bad idea, honestly. Earl, the autobiography of DMX. I'm not sure if DMX is still alive, but this book apparently has some value. I've seen several copies that are worth that are being listed for like $70, $80, but I think it's more realistically a $20 to $25 book. First, I thought this might be a signature, but I think that's just the printing. Unless he wrote it in pencil, which I highly doubt. But I do plan on selling it. And if it wasn't worth anything, I was planning on giving it to one of my coworkers who likes rap. But since it's got value, I will not give it away. Probably make $20 off this, and then I can buy another pile of books. See how that works, Bubba? See? Do you see? What the fuck is this? A beetle? You piece of garbage. Get out of the house. You know why? It's getting cold, so here's El Beto, fucking John Lennon. Insect Lennon coming in the house. Motherfucker. The Millennial Angels, Aliens, and the Antichrist Deception. I guess it's the Millennial Deception. Aliens, Angels, Aliens, and the Antichrist. Within there was a coupon offer from a defunct grocery store, which was a long-time classic. What's it say? 1990? No, that's 03 or 02. Yeah, Farmer Jack's was one of the first places that I saw that had what are those called? U-scans. And I used to always find money in the things. And one of my friends at the time was like, "Oh, why do you take that money?" I was like, "What do you think they're going to do? Just put it in a little jar and wait for somebody to come back?" No, they're going to keep it. But anyway, this is, I'm guessing, from a biblical sense, highway hallucinations or angelic messenger. These accounts of angels and aliens. This book is a biblically informed and level-headed look at variety of controversial spiritual phenomena. Unlike most non-theists, I will buy, not necessarily consume religious books, but I will buy them. And as I've stated before, I've listened to Jack Van Impe for years, just for his prophecy stuff, which is interesting. The Jewel by Anton Chekhov. Just another little, what's it, Penguin? No, it's Modern Library paperback. Cost me 60 cents, but don't start ripping these stickers off, you son of a bitch. I can't control myself once I see it. Oh, I ripped it. That's the bane of my existence. Don't rip it. You gotta rip it perfectly. Come on. Do it. Do it. Do it. The Doorbell Rang by Rex Stout. This one I plan on selling. But I always will buy these sort of, this is the Mystery Digest by Impress. I usually will buy these kind of decorative cover looking things that don't have dust jackets, just because they got a good look about them. And if I ever open a bookstore, yeah, I'll have some nice quality books. Doesn't really smell like anything. It smells like 60 cents. Wonderland, Essays on the Life of Literature by Charles Baxter. Oh, hold on. Setting books down. Essays on the Life of Literature, Charles Baxter. What the fuck is this? This better be an erasable mark. It is. Wonderlands joins Charles Baxter's often other works of nonfiction, Burning Down the House and the Art of Subtext, and it arises from years of wisdom. There we go. I've heard enough. There's a song by the band named XTC called Wonderland, which is the only thing I could think of when I found that book, and I just kept singing it over and over in my head, which is a rarity since I barely ever listen to music. The Beauty of Spiritual Language, Unveiling the Mystery of Speaking in Tongues. I mean, this is a great topic, speaking in tongues. This would be an interesting book to read online, but I usually won't read a book unless I'm reading it online, just because, I mean, it gives me something to do, and then, yeah. Plus, I'm trying to make 1 million videos to get 1 million views just to be a nuisance. And this, obviously, I can't read more modern books because there's copyrights and stuff like that, and you'll get flagged and deleted off the internets. Still an interesting book. Mary Magdalene and the Holy Grail, The Woman with the Alabaster Jar, Margaret Starbird. I was non-committal on this book until I read the back where it says, Margaret Starbird's theological beliefs were profoundly shaken when she read Holy Blood, Holy Grail, which I believe is by Michael Bagent, who is part of the Graham Hancock Circle, him and Michael Bavall, I believe, of writers who just basically challenge history and all that stuff. And so, since I already have Holy Blood, Holy Grail, probably need this book too. We've heard all kinds of proclamations that she was a hooker, she was Jesus's wife. Who knows? I'll probably never read it, but now I have it as a frame of reference if I need it. The Polish Jewry, History and Culture, Interpress. Didn't I just have an Interpress book? No, I think it was Impress. This is Interpress. Since I believe we have, well, no practicing Jews in my family, but I believe we definitely have Polish relatives that have Jewish surnames. Judish, not like Stein or nothing like that, but a name that's clearly used by Jewish people, mainly exclusively at this point. So even though there's no practicing Jewish people there, maybe some lineage there back to the old, whatever the hell you call it, Bethlehem, wherever it is, Jerusalem. What's that place called? Oh, Israel. Yeah, back to Israel. Jews in Poland into the end of the 18th century. I would do one of those DNA things online. Actually, I've done my DNA for reasons I shall not speak of, which you already know because I just said it. But yeah, I bet you I could figure it out just through that if I find the paperwork. For whom the bell tolls. Fortunately, I think I have 3 copies of this already. So it's going to force me to eventually sell one of them. Well, I mean, I have 4 copies, but one has a dust jacket and the other 3 are in this standard Scribner form, which almost seems like a book club edition. It may be, but the fact that so many of them are without jackets is kind of weird. I know people hate dust jackets, but I've always liked them. But yeah, there's another one for the pile. Maybe I can sell it on Amazon. This one may have some value. I did not look it up. Stephen King, The Dead Zone. There was a bunch of mass market paperback newer releases, but I basically only want Stephen King books that, well, I did get the one that is about the Kennedy assassination. And some other vintage mass market paperbacks. But most of the stuff I pick up is just first editions. Not many old ones. I do have a couple Carrie. I don't know if they're first, but they're not in great shape usually. But yeah, this may have some value. I don't know. Don't care about King. I never thought he was good. The movies are enjoyable, but for the most part. But I mean, the reading style. Maybe his writing's okay, but I mean, to me, it just sounds like some. I don't know what you want to call it, but I wouldn't call it a classic style. Mysterious Magical Cat. Which is ironic because my cat loves, what are those called? Siamese. My cat, I'm just going to call my child a cat. My cat also loves those fucking furless cats, which I don't consider them cats. Cat's got to have fur. If he doesn't have any fur, fuck him. That's my theory. I just can't accept him as a cat. They're some kind of a weasel or something. The cat Ra cutting the snake as depicted in the papyrus of Hugh Hefner. Who's Hugh-Nefer? 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 Hey, Hugh-Nefer, I'm going to cut your tits off. Look at this snake. The snake just like, he looks like a fucking prostrated dolphin. Hey, I got a moon above me. Hey, I'm the Lion of Britain. Whatever forsaken flag that is. Gemini, an extended autobiographical statement on my first 25 years of being a black poet. Before then, she was a white poet. What's it say? Van and Gayle King. I wonder if that's fucking Gayle King. Wouldn't that be incredible if it was her? Corona Avenue, apartment 2R, Fresh Meadow, New York. I doubt it, but I don't really know anything about Gayle King, but it'd be funny if it was formerly her book. I have some books on Nikki Giovanni, and I used to read her back in the day. I know that she was shockingly a devotee of Ayn Rand. At least that's what she claims. Before she became, I don't know what she became. Was she a black Marxist, perhaps? I'm not sure what exactly she became. I know she became a black activist, but it's just strange that she was a Randian, which doesn't offend me. I actually like Ayn Rand. Gary, my sister Lavinia, my grandmother Gus, my father with me in his lap. Mulvaney Street. I was going to Knoxville, Tennessee to speak. I was going other places first, but mostly to me, I was going home. I didn't know she was from Knoxville. Or was she? I don't care. I may actually read this book. She'll probably sue me if she's alive, but that may have some value as well. Sundown towns, which of course are whites only, within city limits after dark. Sundown towns, a hidden dimension of American racism. James Loewen's new book will bring shock, then indignation, then wonderment as to what we can do to justify calling ourselves a decent society. It's a lot of book here. How many pages? 500. Well, 400 basically. 450. Yeah, interesting history. I know there's a couple. One of the cities nearby, Garden City, Michigan, was said to have a sign up that said, obviously, no, I don't know. Yeah, there it is, Garden City, Michigan. Let's see what it says. 117. I don't know if it said N-word or blacks or whatever it said. Let's see what it says. I know Orville Hubbard in Dearborn, Michigan, definitely sought to keep blacks out of the city. In 1960, for example, Garden City, which abuts interracial Inkster, had just 2 African Americans, both women, probably both live-in maids among its nearly 40,000 residents. 20 years later, large suburbs like Berkeley, Clawson, Farmington, and Harper Woods had not one black inhabitant. Such numbers imply exclusion. Well, I mean, knowing this area, those are more affluent areas, so obviously blacks are going to move there last, since they, especially in the 1960s through 80s, were less wealthy. So yeah, that's one reason why they didn't move there. Places like Berkeley and Clawson are more liberal than maybe Farmington. Though, who knows what the political system was like back then? I don't really know. I can't really say, honestly. But I know those were definitely deciding factors, were being able to afford it. Although the aforementioned Inkster, Michigan, that they talked about in that book, was one part of Inkster was turned into Dearborn Heights because there was two school districts, and basically the Dearborn Heights side, what's it called when you leave part of the, what's it called, not annexed, whatever, they left Inkster and they became their own small town just so they wouldn't have to what's the word when you force, not inclusion, what the heck's that called? I can't think of it. Doesn't matter. Yeah, I know a lot about the history of Inkster since that's what basically got me into most of the research on the area. So yeah, integration. That's what it's called. They formed the city of Dearborn Heights to avoid integration, and the west or the eastern half of Inkster was the more affluent half. So yeah. Then I picked up a bunch of Sherlock Holmes books. Sherlock Holmes by Gaslamp, the Baker Street Journal. This cover looks like it's got a little water damage, or maybe it's not water damage. It's just fucking crease. I don't know if this is identifying the Diogenes Club. I don't know what this is. What is this? Is this an anthology? What is it that we love in Sherlock Holmes? The game is afoot. Maybe these are all the people that wrote books, because I recognize the game is afoot. I recognize the name Walter Pond. Highlights from first 4 decades of the Baker Street Journal. Yeah, that's set around the cover, you dumb fuck. Pardon. The True Crime Files of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Maybe I'll give this to my mother to read, and then she can read all of the Sherlock Holmes books that I have and never read a word about. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle wore many hats in his life: adventurer, scientist, physician, blah, 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 blah. And like his alter ego, Sir Arthur was not a man to sit idly by and witness the injustices perpetrated by those sworn to defend the public good and uphold the law. Two actual criminal cases came to Sir Arthur's attention, both involving innocent men, and inspired him to get involved on behalf of the accused. Both accounts were documented by Sir Arthur and are presented here for the first time in one volume as The True Crime Files of Sir Arthur Conan motherfucker Doyle. The case of George Ernest Thompson Edalji was originally published in one young lawyer, half British, half Indian. The case of Oscar Slater recounts the incident of a petty criminal being imprisoned for a brutal murder he didn't commit. Yeah, that's interesting. Sherlock Holmes and the Red Demon by John H. Watson, MD. Please tell me this isn't like a fucking The New Adventures. A number of people deserve thanks for helping with this book. The idea of sending Sherlock Holmes to the Pineries first occurred to me. Yeah, I'm guessing that this is just like a new book written in the style of, yeah, fuck this guy. Yeah, Millet, fuck you. Don't like that shit. I mean, I guess I could have actually looked inside the book to see what it was about, but what's this inside Terry Pratchett? Read and be amazed. What is this bullshit? I know that character. What is that? That's that one fucking, what is it? That big monster that comes walking through the hills. Or maybe I'm missing Terry Pratchett, The Carpet People, the master storyteller's debut novel. Here did this come out? Oh, is there two of them? What do we got here, buddy? What do we got here? Nothing. Just a fucking piece of paper cut. Hoping for another book. Mark, but 2004 reissue. This was originally written in 92, maybe 71. First published in 1971. I was close. I didn't know Pratchett's been around that long. I don't really know much about Pratchett. Witches Abroad, a Discworld novel. I've heard of the Discworld. I've sold several. I sold a bunch of hardcovers of Pratchett a year or two ago. Probably 4 or 5 years ago now. For quite a bit of money that I bought for relatively cheap, like 10 cents a book. Sold them for like 50 or 60 bucks. I didn't plan on having a massive library at that time. It was only later that I decided I would start collecting rapidly. Jaws 2, completely new novel by Hank Searles. Wait, based on the screenplay by Howard Sackler. Inspired by Peter Bensley's Jaws. Are you fucking kidding me? It's not even by Bensley. I thought Bensley wrote his own Jaws too. Are you fucking kidding me? No, that's right, he did. Maybe this is worth something. I don't care. It's still a cool looking book. Put you over there. Put you two sons of bitches over there as well. We're at 26-minute mark. We got time. Helen McGinnis, author of The Venetian Affair, a stunning novel of suspense and excitement. Obviously, a gothic romance. This is a classic Dell, probably from the 60s. I'm going to say 64. They always seem to be 1964. What year? 1964. There you go, bro. But it was originally Helen Hughes was her name. Maybe she got married. There is no question that Helen McGinnis can hang her cloak and dagger right up there with Eric Ambler and Graham Greene. Good. Usagi Yojimbo, The Hidden. There were a bunch of, what are these called? I want to call them manga, but I think they're anime, or are they manga? I don't know. But most of them were in Japanese, and they were not complete series. So I picked up the one that was English, and I looked it up. It seems to sell for 20, 30 bucks, but I don't know. We'll see. If I sell it, I sell it. If I don't, I don't. I've heard a lot about this book. Better not be my car alarm. Didn't sound like it. I'm glad my mom died, Jeanette McCurdy. This book still has value. I'm selling it before it goes out of vogue with cool people. Actually, I like Jeanette McCurdy, but I don't think I'll like this book because I don't really give a shit about her life. I'm staring at the plate of spaghetti in front of me. I've been staring at it for at least 10 minutes while I process all the thoughts and emotions that are coming up for me before eating it. Pick up my pencil and start filling out my worksheet. Thoughts. I want this spaghetti. Yeah, not my sort of thing. Now, if it was signed, I still would sell it. I mean, she's hot, but don't really care about it. Her fucking memoir about hating her mother, who basically forced her to work, I think. I think that was the gist of the book. Warriors, Power of Three, Outcast. Includes a sneak peek at Aaron Hunter's new series, Seekers. Used to buy my cat, I should say. Oh, look, a Dove bar wrapper. Dove Snack Chew. I used to buy my kids so many of these Warrior books. We'd go to the big used bookstore and buy a crap load, and I'd get them online. And I know eventually my cat child will say, I wish I had all those Warrior books, because I know they've all been traded into the used bookstore that also has video games, etc. So I know they've all been traded, and I don't really care. I mean, if you can get new stuff for stuff you don't use, I don't blame the kid, even if my kid is a cat. So yeah, I've been collecting these. I probably have about 20 different ones, trying to get all of them in the hardcover. Eventually I'll find them, and one day my cat child will say, I want those books, and I'm gonna fucking have them. Strange Case of Mrs. Hudson's Cat and Other Science Mysteries Solved by Sherlock Holmes. In this suspenseful volume, Colin Bruce has recreated the atmosphere of the original Sherlock Holmes stories to explain the most fascinating principles of physics in a new, exciting way. Cool stuff, right? I'm not really. I'm gonna have to hurry with this. I don't even care if it fucking runs out. The annotated Sherlock Holmes, which is about a 25-pound 2-volume set that the lady charged me $2 for. Even though she goes, when did the stock lady tell me before she put these out? They're $2 for them. I was like, you petty bitch. I know that she didn't say that to you. For some reason, this lady doesn't like me, and she always gives me a hassle, but I didn't care. This is worth about $30. Not that I would sell it because it's so heavy. It would probably cost $10 to ship. I mean, it's too heavy to even pick up with one hand. I can't do it. Barely. I mean, I guess I can barely do it, but it's heavy as hell. And it's obviously what it says it is, the annotated version, so it's got all kinds of footnotes, etc., 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 etc. So yeah, that was my haul of books. I think these were 11, and the other ones about 15 or $16. And after I paid shipping for the book I sold, all free. Ollie Oxen free.